What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's that vlog time once again. That's right. This is episode 48 of my Let's Vape vlog series, where I talk about a whole bunch of different topics affecting the vaping industry and my channel and my life and just everything else in between. We've got a fairly full show on tap for you guys today, and we're going to start it all off with some news updates and, of course, a little advocacy thrown in there for good measure. We've got some first impressions of the vape gear I unboxed on last week's vlog to take a look at, and then we're going to go right into some questions. I've got a couple last questions to finish up from last week's segment as well. Of course, we've got what I've been vaping on this past week, and I do have some vape mail to unbox, which I am very excited about, and we're going to cap it all off with a random review. So with that, go ahead, grab your favorite beverage, grab a comfy chair, sit back, relax, and let's vape. All right, guys, let's start it all off with some news and updates and what's been going on with me. Well, I do have something awesome to share with you guys, thanks to these lovely people right here. Yes, all of these lovely, awesome VIPs, as I call them, or also known as the patrons. I was able to purchase some new lighting. So this light right here, the one that causes these big circular reflections in my glasses, will be moved and replaced by something a little bit softer and nicer for this sort of atmosphere I got going on. But things might start looking a little bit different around here. Don't freak out. It's always just kind of for the better. And, you know, I'm just always looking to kind of make this feel a little bit more like home and cozy and all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you so much to all of my awesome patrons for everything that you've given me. And just having the ability to, you know, have some new lighting around here is just great. And I think it's going to improve the overall look of the channel and everything. So make sure, if you've ever complained about these reflections in my glasses, just go down there in the comments box and just say thank you to all the patrons, because they're the ones that actually made this whole thing possible. Something else that I've been thinking about all week is how to further improve these videos right here, the one that you're watching right now. Well, I was thinking that, you know, since I do a random question of the day for every review video, I want to include the best answers, because I've gotten some really awesome answers from you guys, really hilarious, and they actually crack me up. So I wanted to include the best answers weekly in these videos here, because I feel like, you know, those people should definitely have the spotlight on them for a second, because they took the time to actually write out a clever comment and reply to my random question of the day. And yeah, I think that'll be a lot of fun. I think I might do a little kind of mini segment somewhere in here. But with that, I feel like that would be a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think right down there in the comments box, of course, as usual. A little bit of sad news this week. VCC, or Vaping Convention Circuit, will be closing up for good. No more VCC events, unfortunately. Past couple of years, they've only done the one event in Tampa, which was always a fun time. Last year was an absolute blast. And they were planning on having one this year, although it got moved from July to September. And then after that, it just kind of fizzled. And due to lack of interest, they will not be having any more VCCs. So that is something that's really sad. Kevin Skipper is a hell of a good guy, and I really just loved all of his events. I mean, my first event that I ever went to was a VCC event in my hometown, Springfield, Mass. So it's especially sad because Kevin Skipper, the owner of VCC, was just so focused on advocacy, and his shows were just completely advocacy driven. You know, they had multiple talks for not only consumers, but also businesses, to teach businesses how they could advocate. He always brought in all of the top names for advocates like Alex Clark and Greg Connolly and Stefan Didek and Dimitri and all these guys that really know their stuff, and just really kind of helped raise a ton of money and everything for advocacy organizations and all that stuff. So it's just a real kind of tragedy, because I feel like, you know, other shows, they can't really even hold a candle to the level that Kevin Skipper focused on advocacy. So it's such a bummer. Hopefully, I mean, there could be something in his future. I really hope he starts something else up again, but we shall see. Unfortunately, for now, no more VCC events. Another thing that came across my news feed this week is the metals and e-cigs study is popping up again. Even though this has been debunked by Dr. Farsalinos months ago, it's just kind of popping up all over Facebook and social media with a lot of like infographics and little videos. Although, you know, those ones that always go viral where a concerned parent will just tag everyone they know in the video when they share it, and it's just super annoying because we just kind of groan and go, well, that's not true because science. I'm just getting really sick of this because I've had to deal with this so many times. I get tagged and stuff all the time, and I just have to, you know, send them the link that debunks their study and just kind of move on with my day. I just really don't even want to spend the energy it takes to actually defend myself again and again and again. So I just really wish that people out there would, you know, maybe do a little bit more research into something rather than just watching a video that's trending on Facebook and just believing it as 100% truth. You should always defend vaping in those matters. So if you do have non-vapor friends that are posting this sort of stuff on their Facebooks or on Twitter or anything like that, then make sure you just leave a comment with the link that I'll be posting right down there in the description below. That links to Dr. Farsalinos' findings, and, you know, it's just unfortunate that people have to just kind of blindly follow whatever they see on social media. On the lighter side of the news, something that I came across on Facebook, speaking of viral videos and social media, a clip from Live PD where the suspect in custody wanted one last hit of nicotine before going to jail. So he asked the cop if he could hit his e-cig, and the cop actually let him do it. That was the best part. Cop took it out of his pocket and let him hit his vape one last time before going to jail. He then proceeded to act like a douche a little bit, but I just thought that was kind of funny, and you know, I will share that with you guys just because I feel like everyone needs a good laugh from time to time. Speaking of old news, the American Cancer Society story where they changed their position on vaping is trending again, which is actually kind of positive news because, you know, it's something that sheds a good light on us vapors, and I think that's a good thing to share around everywhere. But I actually reported on this a while ago, just taking a look at the video right here. This is Let's Vape episode 35, which I published on February 27th of 2018 this year here. But yeah, I've already, you know, said my piece with this whole bit here. Basically, my thought is that, yeah, this is a win and a victory for us, and it's going to take a long time to convince all of the other special interest groups out there to kind of change their position as well, because this technology is here to stay. This is something that is life-saving, and it will save millions and millions of people's lives from the damages of cigarette, you know, tobacco combustible cigarette smoking. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about this story. You know, I've already said all of it I need to say about it, so I don't really feel like I need to really go on any further. So if you want to check out my thoughts about that, then I will put a link to that video down in the description, as well as a link to ACS's official statement on the topic there as well. So this is something that hits super close to home. Springfield, Massachusetts banned indoor vaping. Now, I was left completely in the dark about this. I only heard about it on Monday of last week, and they voted on it on Wednesday. Now, supposedly they had a public hearing with this matter here, but I was unaware of that situation 100%. I would have completely went down to the town hall and said my piece with it. But yeah, they didn't really say anything about it. They didn't say when they were going to vote on it. I heard zip, zilch, nothing, nada. And yeah, they voted on it and passed it, and it just went through like nothing. So with that, no vaping indoors, and they're also enforcing the no e-liquid within reach of customers. I'm just really kind of confused and angry over the situation because, as we all know, there's no such thing as secondhand vapor, and there's no difference in the air quality of exhaled vapor to normal oxygen. So I just really don't know why they had to go that far and push this topic that much, because it really doesn't affect anybody. It's not like they're getting complaints from people all over the city left and right that, you know, vape shops are causing havoc and we're endangering people by exhaling vapor into the air in a adults only shop. So it's just really frustrating, and hopefully we can get this whole thing turned around in the near future, but we need all the help we can get at this point, and I just really hope it doesn't spread all the way across the country with these indoor vaping bans. Now, some news from across the pond: the JUUL e-cigarette will now be available in the UK. So that's something that I kind of saw coming a million miles away. I mean, JUUL is a multi-million-dollar company, soon to be a billion-dollar company, and they are just expanding all over the place. It's only a matter of time before JUUL is completely worldwide, and, you know, they're basically taking over for for combustible tobacco, which I am totally okay with. You know, if that's what it takes to completely just eliminate smoking altogether all across the world, then I think that's a good thing. You know, I feel like it's a good product. They're doing their best to stay within regulations and marketing and everything like that. They're really just trying to be the good guys here. But yeah, it's going to be available in hundreds of shops all over the UK very soon, which is really cool for all of you guys over there. And I'm sure they're going to be TPD compliant, 20 milligram or under for that matter. And it's just kind of cool because I know a lot of people that I personally got going on the JUUL over there from my last excursion to London Vape Show. My buddy Jay, Live Vape and Chill, he kind of got hooked on Nick Salts because I introduced him. So that's something pretty exciting for all of my friends over there in the UK. But yeah, with that, that's all the topics that I've got for the news, updates, and advocacy. Let's go ahead and move the show right along. All right, time for some first impressions. We're going to start with the Sigelei Sobra. Yeah, the one that looks like a snake, and the superhero action figure body had a baby, and this came out. The lights on the eyes, yeah, that's a thing with this one here. The little eyes for the snake light up. Not too crazy about that. Not a big fan, but a couple other things real quick. The top cap is Ultem, and I'm not a huge fan because there's no metal threads. It's all just Ultem here for this top cap, and it's only a matter of time until those threads fail and the tank is completely useless because this top cap doesn't stay on anymore. Another thing is they went with the bubble glass, you know, which is kind of sticking to a modern style, but the coils inside here are just nothing but round wire coils. There's really, the coils are not very fancy, and there's really nothing special about them whatsoever. And it's just kind of disappointing because I was hoping for some nice mesh coils from Sigelei. And as far as the mod is concerned, it looks almost identical to the Smoke iPriv, which another one I'm not too crazy about. But yeah, I feel like Sigelei's just kind of riding the coattails of whatever is kind of going you know, going on with the market nowadays, and I'm just not too crazy about it. They really just haven't just gotten a winner in a while. So for me, this thing, it's not bad, it's not terrible, it works, and you know, the flavor on the coils is fine and all that, but overall, I just feel like they're just trying to keep up with the other brands when Sigelei used to be an industry leader, in my opinion. I mean, it's just not innovation. They've done really nothing new with their system here. It's just the same screen that they've put on everything for the past year, and it's got a different look to the user interface. That's it. That's really the only thing that they did with this one, is just change up the look of it a little tiny bit, slap a newer tank on there, and just kind of go with the flow. Next up is the Snowwolf Mfeng. This thing is another kind of copy, another little repeat of what they had before. First they had this one here, the Xfeng, which, I'm a fairly decent fan of. It's not really a bad mod whatsoever, but they just took that same kind of chassis shape and size and everything and just slapped a new look to it, and that's about it. This thing is all metal, which is nice, but it has this really gaudy, ugly Snowwolf thing on the back there, which, I can't even look at it. It's so ugly, and it sticks out, and it rubs against your palm when you're vaping on this thing, and it just feels really not good. Not a huge fan of that whatsoever. Otherwise, I like this mod. You know, this thing is pretty good looking, except for the big, ugly Snowwolf thing on the back. I'm trying not to think about it too much because that's how much it bothers me. As far as the tank is concerned, another kind of repeat like the Sobra tank there. This thing doesn't really wow me. There's nothing super duper wrong about this tank whatsoever, just other than the fact that another plastic thread up top here, which is really unfortunate because it's just not great. It's not a great idea to begin with. Plastic threads are going to fail eventually. That's all there is to it. You know, it takes one time just really threading them really good before those threads are just completely shot and the tank is just no good anymore, because good luck getting parts for this thing. But as far as the coils, again, just round wire coils, nothing special there. They perform well. I mean, as far as the performance between this tank and the tank that comes with the Sobra, really nothing bad about it. I mean, it vapes really well. Airflow is decent. It's just kind of a halfway decent sub-ohm tank. But at the end of the day, I want to see more innovation. I want to see more mesh tanks. I want to see stuff like that going on rather than the same old thing just remixed. I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, Sigelei was on top of the world. They could just do no wrong, and they came out with a whole bunch of really nice banging mods. They had the 100 watt, they had the 100 watt TC, they had the 150 TC, and those mods right there were kind of iconic. You know, I feel like everyone knows what those mods were and what they looked like and everything. And if you were lucky enough to own one of those things, you know that that thing was a pretty darn good mod. So as far as these mods go, just not crazy about them, you know? I just really can't get super into them. Like I said, this mod is really nice looking, except for this stupid thing on the back there, but it's just another remix. It's another copy of the Xfeng with just a slightly new look to the user interface, and that's it. So changing gears a little bit, we have the Alliance Tech Vapor Flave 24. This is a squonkable RDTA. It's got a 2 ml capacity in the little tank down here, and you have your squonk bottle right here. So basically you have to squonk it to fill the tank, which feeds the coils on top of here, or coil I should say, because it's a single coil 24 millimeter RDTA technically. But this one comes to me care of my buddy Miguel. Big shout out to Miguel once again for giving this one to me for the purpose of review, but he also gave me a couple extras with it. Normally it comes with an Ultem little sleeve here. He gave me the clear section because I'm not a big Ultem guy. It's just me personally. I don't know what it is exactly about it. I don't like the looks of it, but he gave me the clear section because of that, which I really do appreciate. But the flavor on this thing is out of this world. Talk about Flave 24. Yeah, this thing is a flavor machine, and I love it for that. It's not the prettiest looking thing in the world, but I am totally okay with that. And it's kind of on the, I guess you could say kind of on the Hemo-ish sort of side, because this one is $130 US. You have to get it from, I believe, France. If you look at their website, there's, well, there's 2 different websites. They have like a French one and an English one. So, it's a really nice RDTA, and I'm not a big RDTA fan, but they just made this thing absolutely gorgeous and super convenient because it's really easy to build. It's a nice solid deck to it as well. All the parts fit super nice. The screws are gorgeously machined, and just everything fits really super nice on here. Just the concentration of flavor alone just really makes this one. I guess one little minor complaint so far is that the airflow does tend to whistle a little bit. Now, I'm going to have to try it with the stainless steel cap, because right now I'm using this Delrin cap. I believe it's Delrin, and it's a little bit on the whistly side. So I am trying to restrict it a tiny bit here. It's about halfway closed off. I'm going to check it out, you know, a little bit more closed off, a little bit less closed off, wide open, that kind of thing before I get to my full review of it. But I do get this little tiny bit of whistle, which does get a tad annoying. But other than that, you know, the flavor is so on point. It actually works as a squonkable RDTA. I have to squonk this thing once every like 40, 50 puffs, maybe even more. I haven't really counted or anything before this thing goes dry, but you get a 2 ml capacity in the juice little reservoir right here before you have to squonk it. So that just gives you that little teeny bit extra before you have to actually refill your squonk bottle. All right, guys, so once again, in lieu of doing shout-outs, I'm going to just answer a couple of quick questions from you guys from the Daily Vape TV Cloud Crew group. If you want to join in on that group, the link is right down there in the description, and you can ask me some questions. You can post your hand checks and all that good stuff. It's a nice little fun community, and we do giveaways from time to time as well. But normally, if you want to shout out for yourself, just email me, dailyvapetv@gmail.com, and I'll get to you at some point during one of these vlogs. But with that, first one comes from Joseph Giannino. He says, what is the best coil for the TFV12 Cloud Beast King, and what is the best VG-PG ratio to use in it as well? I'm going to say, I mean, I sell a lot of coils for the TFV12 King Beast at the shop that I work at, and I'm going to say the best sellers are probably the V12, the big old coils with 6 different holes in it that go up to like 350 watts, and I sell a lot of the Q4s, the single barrel quad coil they call it. It's just a dual parallel, but those tend to be the most popular coils. I feel like the airflow is really super smooth on the Q4 coils because it's just a single barrel, whereas when you have to separate airflow, it just adds that little bit of turbulence in the bottom from separating off those airflow sections to each individual coil head. And the other problem that I have with the V12 coil is that if you burn one of those coils, the entire coil head is basically just junk because you'll never get the same quality of flavor out of that thing ever again. But the Q4, probably my favorite coil for that one, as well as the TFV8 regular Cloud Beast. I don't really use those all that often. Honestly, I don't own a TFV12 myself, but with that, I just find that a lot of people buy those particular coils at the shop. Moving on to the VG-PG ratio, I'd say probably around the 70-30, 80-20 mark. I wouldn't really want to risk putting 90-10 in there just because it's really super thick. 90-10, I would really only put in a dripper. I'm sure some of you out there have ran 90-10 on the Cloud Beast King before, but I feel like it's not sort of an all-day, everyday sort of a vape for that one. 70-30 is going to be your most common PG-VG ratio or VG-PG ratio. I feel like most of the flavors that are made nowadays come in 70-30, and that's 70-30 VG-PG. Now, I know things get kind of twisted around when you mix up those two, but yeah, I feel like that's about the right way to do it. If you put 50-50 in there, it's going to just leak right through that coil and just leak all over the place. It's not going to be fun at all. The next one comes from Chris Harris, and he asks, if I order a Fresh Build Friday shirt, is there any way you could sign it before it's shipped to me? Well, unfortunately, no, because I have nothing to do with the merch itself after I upload my design. All I do is I upload my design to Teespring, and then you just order the shirts and they ship them to you after they're made. I have nothing to do after the fact, so unfortunately, no, there's not really a way that I could do that. However, if you do purchase a shirt, we'll work something out. Just send me an email, dailyvapetv@gmail.com, and we'll work something out as far as if you want to send it to me, I can sign it and send it back to you, no problem. We'll talk about, you know, shipping costs and all that. Don't worry about it. We'll definitely figure something out if you really want me to sign your shirt. But there you go, Chris. And last but not least, Tyler Casey asks, do you Voop? Well, I hate to disappoint everyone out there. I usually don't Voop. I'd say probably 99.8% of the time I am not Vooping, but on the rare occasion that I have a house guest or something like that and I want to be a little extra courteous, I'll bring my vape in the bathroom and just kind of rip it a few times while things are going on, but otherwise I don't. I mean, I have plenty of opportunities to vape during the day, so I really don't feel it necessary. I know probably some of you guys do out there, and if you do, that's totally fine. I am not judging you one bit, but it's just not an activity that I really find enjoyable. You know, I'm usually reading or going on Instagram or something like that while things are moving down there. But yeah, thank you for the question, Tyler. I really do appreciate everyone writing into me on the Facebook group. So if you want to ask me questions, I will probably be doing kind of a mixture between shout outs and Q&A every week from now on. You know, I want to mix it up a little bit. So thank you everyone for writing in. I really love answering your guys' questions, and I feel like this is going to be kind of a split Q&A and shout out segment from here on forward. But other than that, yeah, if you want to shout out for yourself, just write me an email, dailyvapetv@gmail.com. Tell me your name, tell me a little bit about yourself, tell me your vaping story or who you want me to shout out, and we'll go from there. We'll get you in on one of these vlogs here. And as far as questions, Q&A stuff, look out for some posts on the Daily Vape TV Cloud Crew group, once again listed right down there in the links below. So what have I been vaping on this past week? Well, first of all, we've got this guy right here, the BT Customs Squarius Squonk Box. It's a single 18650, super lightweight, black Delrin and white acrylic mod with a solid silver connection running all the way around this thing, which is absolutely great. Do love it. Then we have the Alliance Tech Vapor Flave 24 RDTA on top of there. We talked about this in the first impression, so I'm not going to harp on this one too much, but we have some Yota Eliquid in there. This is Delta, and it's a super sweet dessert vape. I'm not really sure the exact flavor profile, but I can get a lot of like a caramel and custard, and oh, it's so good. I don't vape a lot of dessert vapes, but this one here is absolutely delicious. Next up, I've got the mini Purple People Eater setup, which is the Dreamer Mech mod by Times Vape with the Reload RDA on top of there. And this setup is so gorgeous. I absolutely love this thing. And it's just one of those like meant to be sort of things. I really just never want to take this RDA off of the top of here. And it just works so well. Plus something that I also got in last week that I didn't really show off too much, but these right here, these are some Samsung 30Ts and they are amazing batteries. I got them from Lion Wholesale, and I'll link it down there in the description, but they have them for, I believe, about 14 bucks, and they're in stock if you guys want to pick some up for yourself. If you use 21700s all the time, especially in mech mods, then you are absolutely going to love these batteries because they hit super duper hard. Underneath the hood, I've got some Lemon Twist, watermelon lemonade. It's just kind of good. It's sweet. It's lemonade. It's, you know, a perfect summer vape. Next up is a repeat from last week. We've got the Snowwolf Xfeng and the joyetech-riftcore-duo on top of there with a Half Moon Mods drip tip. Inside the tank, I've got some Nasty Juice Wicked Haze, a blackcurrant lemonade. Absolutely delicious. Loving this one all week long with that nice kick of menthol as well. Speaking of Snowwolf, I've got the Mfeng kit as well, and yeah, this one, like I said in first impressions, this one is very similar to the Xfeng, but I've got some Nasty Juice Trap Queen on this one, little tiny TPD bottle that I've been vaping on all day, and it's almost gone. So yeah, I can definitely crush a 10 ml bottle in a day, no problem whatsoever. Another one we've already talked about in the first impression segment, the Sigelei Sobra kit, and inside the tank here, we've got some Dinner Lady Summer Holidays Strawberry Bikini. Now, this one's a strawberry lemonade with a nice kick of menthol as well, and let's just go ahead and have a rip. And last but not least, we have the pod system of the week, which is the Suorin-Air. This thing has been chilling in my pocket all week, and I've been using it from time to time, but I don't really hit this thing all that often, mostly in the car on the drive home or something like that. But, you know, I don't really hit this thing all that often because 25 milligram nic salt is just a little bit too strong for me. I normally vape 3 milligram with my freebase nicotine devices, but 25 just seems a teensy bit too harsh for me. I guess I'm spoiled because when I went to the UK, I picked up a bunch of 18 milligram nic salts, and that is spot on, exactly where I like to be for my refillable nic salt devices. And I don't know, for some reason it just works a lot better for me. Personally, I just wish they would have come out with a 15 milligram option. Have a 15 milligram, a 30 milligram, and a 45 milligram instead of just 25 and 45 or 35 and 50, all those kind of like random numbers in there. Just regulate it a little bit more, just like we have 0, 3, 6, etc. We should have 15, 30, and 45 just to give people a little bit more choice. But the flavor that I've got rocking in this one right now is Blue Raz Lemonade from Mr. Salty, and it is absolutely delicious. I might actually try to dilute this one a little bit with something, maybe a little Blaz or something like that, just to kind of thin it out a little bit and hopefully give me a better vaping experience with pod devices. I don't know, am I crazy for thinking that we should have a little bit more choice in the world of nic salts? Just leave your comments down there in the box below. I want to hear from you guys. It's vape mail time. Time to unbox some vape mail. I've got these two lovely DHL packages to unbox for you guys here today, and I am excited because I don't know what they are. I have no clue. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Let's just pull out the trusty knife here. Boom, just like that. Ah, yes. Okay, so this one's from Rinco. And let's see what we got. And I love that yellow tape. True sign of good things to come. All right. Okay. All right. This is the Manto. The Manto mod. This one looks kind of funky. All right. You know what? Let's open her up here and see what this thing's all about. So first of all, it's a nice cute little device. It looks like it has a massive screen on this thing, and I kind of want to take a look, so let's just go ahead and pop some batteries in here. We got negative there, positive there. All right, you got the little splash screen. Oh, that's kind of funky. It's got this like 3D effect to it. Kind of nifty looking. It'd be really cool if it had like an accelerometer in there, which, like, you know, if you tilted it one way or the other, the screen kind of changed. I mean, that would probably just take up a ton of battery for no reason whatsoever, but I mean, it's kind of a cool effect. It's a cool look to it overall. So I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever, but I think that would be something that would be kind of nifty. That's definitely possible. I feel like that would definitely be possible. But a nice big color screen on this thing, and very clear and easy to see your wattage setting and all that. So yeah, looking forward to using this one, and we'll make sure to try that out for the next vlog. Next up, we've got another lovely DHL package here. Just stab it, you know. That's how you get into packages. Ah, more yellow tape. Gotta love that yellow tape. Zoop. There we go. There we go. And we are in. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Yes. Sweet. We have the Warrior RDA, yes, from Watofo. Really looking forward to this one. We actually had JMT Elite on the other night on Vape Stew, and this is their creation right here, the Warrior RDA. This thing is like a clamp-style beast mode RDA, super duper like builder's RDA. A lot of room for your crazy coils in there, which is going to be great for someone like me, because I am definitely looking forward to throwing a big old build in there and checking this thing out. So 25 millimeters clamp style, and it's just a nice looking RDA. You know what? This one, I love the blue. The blue looks really gorgeous. I know you could barely see it in this lighting here, but yeah, that blue is phenomenal. It looks absolutely stunning. I might actually open the blue one. I don't have any other like blue mods though, so that's what is going to be tricky about this one. I don't know. Either blue or stainless steel. I can't decide. I can never decide which one to open and which one to give away, but there we go. That's our vape mail for this week. All right, guys, let's cap it all off with a random review. This time we're going to be looking at Dinner Lady Summer Holidays Strawberry Bikini, and this one was kindly given to me at CVE by the guys at Dinner Lady. Thank you so much for that once again. Going online here, taking a look, we've got it for $22 for a 60 mil, available in 0, 3, and 6, and it's 70 VG, 30 PG. Let's take a look at the flavor description. It says, strawberries smashed with ice and dropped into a cloudy lemonade, bursting at the seams with sharp lemony goodness. Well, you guys know me. I love my lemonade flavors. I'm actually vaping 3 different lemonade flavors right now. So with that, let's just go ahead and take a puff off of this one. So I will say this, the first time I loaded up the strawberry bikini in this tank, I was getting a little bit of a funky flavor. Now, I'm not sure if it's just a flavoring that they're using or if it was the coil because it was brand new or something like that, but after like 3 or 4 puffs, it just kind of went away, and I really have no idea what exactly I was tasting. It kind of tasted like the Malaysian version of a mango, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I guess that's something to do with that citrus in there. But mostly what I get is like strawberry and menthol. You get a lot of those two flavors, and the lemonade flavor in this one is kind of right there in the middle, just right before that menthol just kind of kicks into overdrive and just takes over the rest of your palate. I mean, just after those two puffs, I could still feel the menthol like on my tongue and just like going down my throat. It still feels like cold to me, but you know, that is something that I actually do enjoy on a hot summer day, is a nice icy cold blast of menthol out in the hot summer sun. And yeah, now that I keep saying it, I just want to take another puff. You know what it is? I feel like it's that lemonade flavor in there. It's whatever lemon flavoring they're using is just kind of got a funky twang to it, and it's something that I'm not used to. It's not bad at all. I'm not going to say it's a bad flavor. It just takes time to get used to it. Your taste buds have to just kind of adjust after about 3 or 4 puffs, and then it tastes really good. So it's just kind of different and unique in that sort of way, which I'm actually enjoying. So I can't really say anything bad about it. It's not like I said, it's not a bad flavor, but it's just different. And on a final note here, this one has a hefty blast of menthol to it, so you better be a menthol fan if you plan on trying this one out for yourself. But if you are, like I am, then I would highly recommend it. Link will be right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments about anything we talked about in this video right down there in the box below. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description. Make sure you guys check me out on Twitter. That's where I announce all of the live shows and stuff like that going on. So make sure you check out that link right down there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.